Welcome, everyone. I'm just setting this room up early for anyone who wants to come in. Um, just shout out if you get here. If you're not that anyone's here at the moment, but yeah, well I'm just letting this go blank for a while until someone jumps in. All right, team. Can I get a check? Can I check my voice? Is it voice okay? Perfect. I'm not asking if I have a nice voice. That's not my question. I know my voice is terrible, but can you hear it? Like the quality of the voice and the is it okay? Not static? Oh, hey Rowan, how you going? G'day Samuel. Hello Hung. Mark, welcome. Excellent. We're still waiting for another six. Oh, thank you, Samuel. That's very kind of you. We're waiting for another 7 minutes before Kathy comes over. But you know what I'm going to do for the next 7 minutes? I'm going to sneak some time. I'm going to sneak a little couple of tasks in. I want to show you a little bit of how I do subnetting. Just a quick one. This is just a bit of a sneaky one. We'll do this with other students as well, but because you guys come early, you get bonus time. So now, can I tell you something about subnetting, everyone? I had to learn this 20 million trillion different ways and different times through Microsoft, through Cisco classes. I can honestly say to you that I'm happy that I learned it. It did come in handy now and then. Yeah, it did come in handy now and then. But most of the time, you don't really ever do that much subnetting in real life. But here's the thing. When it's time, when you need it, you're going to thank God that you know how to do this. Let me tell you. I'll say that again. So you can. This is recorded. You can quote me on this. You don't do a lot of subnetting when you're out there working in the real world, but when you need it, you'll be thankful that you know it. So definitely use a lot of time into subnetting. Welcome, hey Kathy, how you going? How are you?
Hey, good evening, guys. Hi, Harry. Hi, everyone.
Hi. So I'm just going to, while we're waiting for 5 minutes, I'm going to do this quick one. I'm going to do a quick subnetting task here. I'm going to show you the Harry way of doing it. Stephen, yeah, so that does get a bit difficult when you're doing a classless subnetting. But I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you a trick. Whenever I do a Cisco exam or a Microsoft exam, this is the first thing that I do on the exam before I start. In the old days, you could take a pen and paper, or you could use a scrap piece of paper inside the exam venue. These days, you've got access to like a notepad. So so the first thing before I start the exam, before I'm wasting time, right? This is what I do. I do this. I go 1 to 8. What do I do? 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. I do this straight away. I write this in a notepad with the modern day exams because you can't take paperwork with you anymore. That's the first thing I do. Okay. And I'm going to show you why this makes it so much easier when you're doing subnetting. On a piece of paper, so while you're practicing, it's really easy. You start at 1 and you double it. You keep doubling it. Now, I was telling Stephen, I cheated on my Year 10 maths exam, and I just passed my Year 12 maths. I was good at maths, but I was just bored. It was just boring. It was really boring for me, which I regret because I could have become an engineer or something. But anyway, so this is what I'll do when I'm practicing my subnetting. I do that straight away. That's the first thing I do if I've got access to a pen and paper or a sheet, like some sort of sheet. So when I'm doing my first subnetting, okay, that's the very first thing I do. And it really helps a lot. Let me just clean this up a bit. Yep. And the second thing I do is I do this. Put a little dot there, a little dot there, and a little dot there. So I've got my first octet, my second octet, third, and fourth. So today I can't do a complete subnetting course because it takes a couple of days to teach it, but I'm going to throw in some really quick tips for you. By the way, everyone, we have not officially started the lesson today. I'm just doing a quick, just filling in time before everyone comes in. But let me just show you why I do this. So if I'm doing a Cisco exam, what I'll do is, let me see if I can just get this up and running nice. Yeah. So I've got this question here. So pretend this is Cisco, and I've got a CCNA exam, and they do like 1 or 2 questions on this. A computer has the IP address of blah 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 with a subnet mask of blah blah blah. Okay. So which subnet ID of this subnet? So what is the subnet ID of the subnet that belongs to the computer? Okay. So you guys say C. Fair enough. Let's do this math here. Now, what I do is I look. Now this is easy. This subnet mask is a piece of cake. Later on, when everyone comes in, I'm going to pick a harder one. In fact, I don't think there are. Yeah, this is a hard one. That's a difficult one. Okay, we might do that later on. That's a tough one. But I don't say tough. I don't call it tough. This is a challenging one. I like to call them interesting. The interesting octet. So what is an interesting octet? Now, let me show you what I'm doing with this. And by the way, everyone who's just come in, I haven't officially started this. I'm just filling in time now. If I add, let me see if I can squeeze that bit. Yeah. If I add all these numbers together, yep, that equals, and if I add them all together, that'll equal 255. If I do that again, so 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16, 32, 64, etc., adds up to 255. Go do it. It seriously does. And that octet is 255. And I'm how do I know this? Because, well, it tells me here. See over there, it's actually telling me. And that's 255. And at the end, it's a 0, right? Okay. By the way, for the newcomers, we haven't started yet. I'm just waiting for everyone to come in. And that's a 0. So I know that all these ones are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I've got a 0. Those are 24 bits in a row, 24 continuous bits in a row. I know that is going to be, that's what my subnet mask looks like according to the computer. Okay, so that's how I know. Okay, so now if we answer this question here, what's the subnet mask for that? Then what I do is I completely ignore all of these ones. I'm not even interested in that, because those ones, all the ones are filled up over here. That means that's a network portion. All the ones are filled there. All the ones are filled there, and there's 0 there. So that means that's my network mask right there. And 11 is the host ID. So the answer to that is C. That is a really simple answer to that. I'm going to later on, I'm going to do a hard one, a difficult one, a little bit later on. We don't have that much time. I only have an hour. I'm going to push it maybe a little bit longer if I can. But that's we don't really have that much time today. So I'm just going to wait another 1 or 2 minutes. Welcome everyone who's just come in. We haven't officially started just yet, but in about 2 minutes we will. We've got an action-packed session today. Sorry, 1 sec. I'm just gonna. All right. We'll wait. I think, you know what? Let's start. We've got plenty of people here. We have 20. It's a good turnout today. So I'm just going to start today. I'm going to start, and people can catch up by watching the video. So get ready for an action-packed session tonight. Hey, g'day Benjamin, how you going, mate? It really is a lot. We're going to cover quite a lot today. So we're going to look at configuring IPv4, just the basics of IPv4. We'll do a couple of subnetting tasks. We need a lot of time to go through the subnetting properly, but I'll give you some tips. That's pretty much the best we can do today. We're going to look at the purpose of a default gateway. Why do we need a gateway in the first place? And then we'll have a look at the purpose of the subnet mask. And I gave you a little bit of a introduction just before. Very important concepts with IPv4. Really, really important. This section here. I would devote and dedicate a little bit more time to this section. Like I said to those who were here a bit earlier, came early. Subnetting, we don't do the calculations that much in the real world, but you will be glad that you did learn this when the time comes. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, well, you know what? I better start the virtual machines up. Hopefully by now you've all got this. You all know how to do this. If you haven't, then you need to contact me now, like right now. Message me now saying, Harry, I don't know how to get in here. Okay, like right now. Otherwise, it's one more week and it'll probably be too late. Well, you know what? It's never too late. I'll get you through if you haven't, but I'm sure that most of you have got this, right? So we're going to start this lab first, and then I'm going to show you how to configure IPv4. We're going to do it the nice simple way through the GUI, first of all. Yeah, by the way, while I'm waiting for this, does anyone have any? Okay, Benjamin. Well, we'll need to sort this out. So what we'll do, Ben, is when I finish the class, stay behind, and I'm going to sort you out. Okay, we'll get you up and running. Okay, it's a good time. It's good that you good, awesome. So stick around, and we'll set you up. Does anyone have any burning questions or issues? I know I'm getting some questions about the lab, the lab journal entry. The lab journal entry, and I'm just filling in time while this starts here, but honestly, the lab entry is not that difficult. Make it as simple as possible. It's just a reflection on what you thought about the task.
Sorry, Harry. I did have a question on the lab journal.
Sure.
Should we be inputting, so when we go through the lab, sometimes there's questions. Should we be writing those questions and answers into our lab journal, or should we only be including useful configuration and commands and screenshots and things like that?
All right, let's go have a look at the lab journal and see what it says here. We'll look at this specifically. So first of all, why do this? What's the point other than annoying you and making your life a nightmare? The point is appreciating the purpose of the lab exercise. So to assist you and appreciate why you're doing. Sometimes you just go through the motion. It's just there to get you engaged and the functions of the technology. And here's the crucial part. This is why I'm boring you with this part instead of answering your question directly. So Rowan, what I'm saying here is that the functions of this technology used and how these technologies are applicable in different business scenarios. This is the critical part. You don't answer the questions and put in the journal. You have to think, okay, I'm doing this lab. How is this relevant when I got a job, when I'm working in a support center, or I'm going out there in the field? So you don't answer the question, you write the journal. Okay, I did these tasks and I set up for example, I set up a DHCP server and I tested according to the lab. The lab asked me to configure DHCP on a Windows 10 client, and it was a great lab. I enjoyed it, and I think that the reason I did this lab is when like in a real world scenario, if there's 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 computers, obviously I'm not going to change the configuration statically. I'm just going to get DHCP to do that automatically. See where I'm going with this? So what did you do in the lab? Not just answer yes or no, answer the questions or cut and paste the questions. Tell the story. It's like, be a storyteller. Make it engaging and interesting. I did this in the lab. I enjoyed it. I learned these things. I believe that in the real world, this is how I would implement what I've learned today in the real world, in a job. And then, excuse me, and then you do the quiz. And you said I attempted the quiz. The quiz is maybe a little bit difficult, a little bit tough, but the quiz is testing my knowledge on this topic because I'm going to link that to the real world. So you're just building a story there, Rowan. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problems. All right, so that's up. So we're writing now. So I'm going to click on that. Just in case those who are watching this for the first time. Remember, we're going to use student. So not your student name. It's just simple, pure, simple student. And the password will be password. Hang on a sec. Where are we? Yeah, it's right there. See there? It's disappeared on me. Okay. Yep. Don't even bother selecting remember me. It doesn't work anyway. And then you'll get this little thing happening here. And hopefully we'll connect to the remote desktop. And away we go. Now, for those who just popped in, I have completed a lab demonstration for the lab 2. I've uploaded it. I've sent you the link in Slack, so you can all view in Slack. Those who don't have Slack set up, please message me. If you're in group 4, message Kath or Catherine. She'll help you as a group 4 teacher, instructor there. All right, so this is it. We're good now. So that's our lab running. Okay. So we'll go to part 1. So this is the lab that I'm looking at here. Okay, so this is the aim of this whole complete lab. These are where I got the practice questions. I believe that these are starting to work for everyone now. Week 2, still not working, but these should be working. Let me check that. Yeah, that's good. They're working. That's a good thing. But week 2 is not working for some reason, which I've tried to get that fixed, but it's not fixed. So part 1 is an easy one. That's a nice, simple. Actually, sorry. No, it's not easy because there's some very difficult and challenging subnetting questions, which we'll go through a couple of. But what I want to do first is I want to do this. I want to go through this. With answers that we can check to the practice questions. That is a very good question. I don't know, Emily. I'll find out. I'll find out for you. I'm going to find. I don't know. All right, I'll check up on that. That would be handy. Actually, you know what? I've skipped this one here. Yeah, no problems. I'll see if I can find one for you. All right, now, so preparation. We'll need to revert all the virtual machines. I know that we played around with some virtual machines last week. Well, and sorry, I've got to talk a bit quick today. I've got to go really quick and fast. I'm sorry, we only have 45 minutes left. But so we're gonna start the router, server 1, PC 201, and so these guys here, right? Let me jump onto here and double click Hyper-V, and I'm going to start these virtual machines. Okay. I'm having a bit of an inception problem, the virtual machines within virtual machines kind of thing. All right. So let's right click and get the router up and running. This is really critical for our lab. Server 1 going. Yep, PC 201 or 201. Get that going. Server 3. Come on down, server 3. Perfect. So always run when required. Run the domain controller first. The other ones shouldn't be a problem for the other one, but always start DC1 first. We don't have to in this session. I don't think so anyway. Yeah, shouldn't matter, but you know, from my personal experience, yeah. I've already done it. Sorry, so Stephen, I've already reverted it. I should have. Good pick up. I've already done that. I did that before because I did the lab. I recorded the lab for you guys. Yeah, cool. All right, so okay, so now we've got a topology here. We want to replicate that topology. Okay, I've got two screens here. So get your screen out for this while I do this topology, because I'm going to move it back to the other screen because I can't divide the screen in half because of this virtual machine here. Sorry, this jump server, as I call it. So now I've got Windows 10 PC, this guy over here, and server 1. They both need to be connected to the Hawthorne switch. So I'll go to Switch Manager, and I'll go, this is the Hawthorne switch. I need to make sure they're connected to each other. So let's do this. Right click, Settings, and that one is Hawthorne switch. Good, that's a good start. Windows Server 1, which I haven't loaded yet. So I don't know why I didn't load it. I must have missed it, no problems. I'm gonna run that now, no problems. No harm done. I'm going to right click and Settings, and that's in the Hawthorne switch, virtual switch as well. Cool. All right, now we have to, okay. We've got a switch in Sarawak. So this router here, the router you'll notice is a virtual router, and it's a Windows-based or software-based router. That's got to connect to 3 different networks. How do we do that? Great question. I'm glad you all asked. Let's do it. We'll go right-click, Settings, and we've got them already. We've got Wantirna, Sarawak, and Hawthorne. 3 network interfaces. You absolutely can do that, Stephen, on a virtual environment. You can have 20, 30, 40. Actually, I think there is a limit. Like heaps. And then server 3 should be connected to Wantirna. Again, really sorry if I'm going through this really, really fast. Just don't have that much time in our hour sessions. I wish these were 3-hour sessions. Okay, fantastic. So we've got that up and running. We're good. Perfect. This is good. If there was any issues, we would change it. So let's now go and configure these IP addresses. I've got to do this super quick again. So let me just jump into that. I'm going to go straight away into PC 201. I'm going to right click and start. I'm going to connect to that machine. I'm going to do I'm going to do the full lab on this. If we miss anything, if we don't have enough time for all this, no problems. You can check the video that I make later on. Anchor, we don't. That's the simple answer to that. We don't. We not in this lab. If you want to know how to do it on your own virtual environment, your own Windows 10 machine, I'll show you on my Discord server one day when I get some time. I'll show you how to do that. But that's a topic for time. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. All right, so we're on PC 10 here. We'll have to change the IP address. I'm just going to check the IP address in the first place. So I'm going to right-click, Open Network and Sharing. There's many ways we can do this. I like to do it this way. Properties. Let's check this out. So is that the correct IP address? I believe it is. 172.16.32.201. This is correct. We don't have a gateway address yet, and I believe that we have to configure that later on in another task. So we're going to leave this for now. We just have to get the other, we have to make sure this is fine. All right, so that's good. So I'm just going to close that. When I close that X, it's not shutting the virtual machine down. It's just putting it aside. Okay. If you ever do this on Windows 10 or Windows 11 machine, if you install Hypervisor, remember that you might shut Hyper-V down. Those virtual machines are still running in the background. Just a bit of a hint. You actually have to shut these virtual machines down. Now, if we go over to Windows Server 1, we'll jump in there. I have to wait for a few seconds for that to load. While I'm waiting for that, because it's so slow, I'll jump over to server 3 and get that loaded, get that running too. You have to remember that these virtual machines, I think they've only got like 1 gig or 2 gig of RAM, which is not really that much for servers. All right, so this is server 1. So we're going back to server 1 over here, down below. We've already checked PC 201. We're checking server 1 now. We want to make sure that they're 32.11. Okay, perfect. Let's do that. Open network and internet settings. Change adapter options. There we go. Ethernet. Change adapter options. It's really slow. It's driving me crazy. Okay. Double click there. And is that the correct IP address? Yes, it is. It's got the default gateway already. Perfect. Also has a DNS. We're good with this one. And I have no idea why all these fired up. I don't know. Weird. Anyway, so we're happy with that. That's good. Now, server 3, which is this on this end, we need to make sure that it's 100.13. A totally different subnet than this. Totally different. Let's go have a look. Again, we'll right click. We'll go to Open Network and Internet Settings. Just make that a bit bigger. And then change adapter options. Right click, properties. There we go. And I believe that that's correct. Yeah. Perfect. There's no DNS over there. We might have to change that later on. All right. So we've got everything working so far. We've got everything correct, but we haven't looked at the router yet. Let's go do that now. So like I always say, you would never set up a router using Windows 10. Sorry, Windows of any type. It would usually be done like on a Cisco device, but it's handy to have. Yeah. At least it gets our labs working. So we should have 3 interfaces. Server 3 is in a workgroup without a DC. Yeah, correct. So this is a standalone server, Stephen. And standalone servers actually have some really important roles. The servers don't always have to be a part of the domain. There's some really, really useful reasons why you'd have a standalone server. You can have a DHCP server that's standalone, that's not part of the directory. Also, a certificate server, certificate authority server. I can't say the word together for some reason. Authoritative server. So that's normal. That's okay. Excuse me. So we'll right click over here and let's have a look at the 3 different interfaces. You got 1, 2, 3. Let's go change adapter options. There we go. Got Ethernet, Ethernet 2, Ethernet 3. They're connected to the 3 different setups. So we've got one going over Sarawak, one over Hawthorne, and one over one Turner. All right, so let's have a look at which is which. If I right click Ethernet properties, and everyone write your questions down, okay? I know you've probably got thousands of questions. Write them down. We won't have time to go through the questions here live, but I will definitely answer those in another time or in email or something. I might even stick around a little bit later as well. So we've got 172.168.32.1. I know that that's going to be in the Hawthorne. See there? So that's the interface right there, 321, which will be the gateway for this PC and the gateway for server 1. Perfect. Let's go over to Ethernet 2 properties. And we'll go over here, and that's 10.10.10.1, and which I believe will be Sarawak. There we go. That's that interface there. That'll be the gateway for the Sarawak network, which is a really beautiful place over in Malaysia, I think. Yeah. Then we've got Ethernet 3, which should be one Turner. Yep, 100.1. Correct. There we go, right there. We've got the lab, everything's set up, everything's working perfect. It's already done for us. All right, so now we're going to exit those. We're going to exit that. We're going to start to move a bit quicker if we can. Where are we now? So, not that one. Help, I've lost my screen. I've lost my tabs. I wish there was an easier way to do this, but it's gone. I must have accidentally, there it is. No, that's not it. I always do this. I lose track of all the screens. I'm gonna go grab it again. Modules, open a new tab. We'll go to Lab 3. Introduction to IPv4 addressing. Cool. We're back. All right, so we've got that up and running. Perfect. We're there, okay? We've finished checking that one. So now what we need to do is we need to start recording some of these information for your journals, okay? Let me just move that out of the way. This is a really annoying part of Edge sometimes. This one I'm going to leave to you. I'm going to skip this one, step 3, okay? You guys can do this. I'm sure we've done this already. If you don't, let me know. I'll show you how to do that, or you can Google it. That's easy. Okay. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to start. We'll go straight to step 5. We'll start. I'm going to ping from 201. I'm going to ping server 1. Okay. So let's go over to 201. Okay, now I'm going to ping server 1. By the way, before that for that first part, I'll just do it really quickly since it only take me a minute, 30 seconds actually. What you have to record in your lab journal. Oh, by the way, Rowan, when it asks you to, like, you answer a question, if it asks you to put something in your lab journal, yeah, then you would do it when it actually tells you to do it. Which is okay. So let's ping 172.1632.11. There we go. We've got connections. We are pinging the other IP address, and we're getting it in return. Sometimes it might not come back because it doesn't know how to come back. Sometimes there's a firewall blocking. Yeah, PowerShell you can use PowerShell. You can use those. You can use commands in PowerShell too. Let me prove it to you. The old DOS-based commands will work in PowerShell too. So they'll still work. Yep. No problems. You can still use. You can use either way. No problems. All good. Fantastic. So pretty much, Samuel, pretty much. PowerShell is very, very, very powerful. My advice is for you to learn PowerShell. I learned PowerShell and I forgot it all because I stopped working on Windows machines. I haven't worked on Windows devices for a few years now. So I forgot all my PowerShell commands, but Linux commands, I remember them because I use Linux all the time now. All right, so I'm not going to do any more pings. Actually, no, I should. I shouldn't I? All right, you know what? I'm going to ping. I should do this. We go back over here. Hang on a sec. Where are you? There we go. So now I've been able to ping from 10PC201. I can ping the server, but can I ping server 3 on the other side? Can I ping it? Let's do it. So ping 192.168.100.13, I believe, and computer's going to say no. It's going to say no. You can't do that, Harry. You're trying to defy the laws of physics. You can't get there. So what do we do in this case? What we do is we look at the next section. We need to fix the gateway. Exactly, Uncle. Perfect. So we're not on the same subnet. And who can tell me what we have to do? What do we need if we need to exit to another network? What's the device? What's the device that we need if we need to access another? There we go, a router. And what layer is the router on? The router's on what layer? Yep, perfect, layer 3. It's a layer 3 device. And what addressing scheme, what protocol do we use? What, like routers, what do they use? And what else, Anchor? That's correct, but what else? What's another one we can use on routers? Bingo. IP version 6, which is my favorite. I love IP version 6. Okay, so what do? We need to configure the default gateway. So what is the default gateway? It's the interface on the router. Okay, I'll have to show you. I was going to draw this, but my drawing's terrible. So that's the gateway for this network. That's what we have to enter as the default gateway. That's really important that you get that. You really need to understand that. Okay, nice. So we'll right click, let's do it. Let's do this thing. right click, properties, like that. And then default gateway, it is 172.116.32.1. And we're not going to worry about the DNS just for now. And that's configured. However, is that going to work? Yeah, I hate DNS. I love DHCP, I hate DNS. DNS has caused me so much stress. Yeah. All right. Oh, by the way, see, it's got the new network. That's interesting. I don't know if it's if we've done it on the other side. I didn't check it. I didn't check it, but you know what? Let's try. Let's ping. We'll ping the other server, which I believe is 203, wasn't it? I'm going to ping it anyway. See what happens. Yeah. By the way, you wait a couple of times before you give up. Have I got that right? Oh, .13 is it? Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's try .13. Maybe you're right. Ah, actually works. So Stephen, looks like it's already been configured. I can't remember. I think I remember seeing it, but I can't remember 100%. There we go. So we've just gone across. We've now we are now able to jump from over here to this router and then go over here. I'm going to give you some bonus content now. All right, I'm just going to clear the screen here. How do all right, I'm going to show you this. This is one of my all-time favorite commands. Sometimes you can't ping, you can't get somewhere and nothing happens. And you're thinking, well, what happened? Where's the issue here? This is my favorite all-time command. Trace route, bingo. Trace route, what was it again? 192, God, I got a terrible memory. Trace route, not trace route, trace route. In Cisco and Linux, it's trace route, but in Microsoft they say route for some reason. But you can see that it shows you the hops that it's taken. So it went to the gateway first, and from the gateway directly to the destination. This is a lifesaver for you, because you ping and you don't know where it went wrong. This will tell you where it went wrong. Okay, what's next? Okay, fantastic. We've got another 20 minutes. We're doing okay for time, I think. All right, so what's this lab about? A network device uses a subnet mask, subnet mask, yes, to determine which MAC address needs to be entered in the blah, blah, blah. There are only two options, MAC and destination device. All right, yep. If the network portion of the destination device address matches the network portion, yeah, wonderful. Okay, great. So what do you want us to do here, lab? Okay, yes. Now. All right. This is not so much a lab. This is something I want to show you really quickly. This is something you've got to get really quickly as you can. Okay? I'm going to do, I wish I had you guys for a lot more time. I wish I had my, so, okay. I've got a switch. And I've got a PC. And I've got another PC over here. Okay? So I need to send something over there. I already know as a PC, this is my IP address, 192.168.0.2, and the IP address over here is 192.168.0.3. Great. I know that I need to send, so this is the destination. I want to send it over here. I know the destination for the IP address. I know I have that information already, but I don't know the MAC address, the layer 2 address. I have no idea what it is. Okay, the switch does. The switch, however, does know. The switch has a CAM table. So it's just like it's a really special type of memory in here that records the physical address. So I'm just going to do this really quickly, really lazy. Okay, out. So this is interface 24. This is interface 2. So it's like a database is out of interface 24. Okay, so what happens is I need to know the MAC address of this device here, and I don't know it. The switch will go and get it for me, and it will send it back. It will tell me what that MAC address is. So I'll have my internal little table inside this PC. So I will now know that that destination is, okay? And I've just made this up. It's not real, okay? Just don't quote me on this one. Now, okay, now that's great. Perfect. In that scenario, when I send this IP address, the MAC address, it's going to be the same. Nothing changes in here, okay? So what will happen is I'm going to get, and this is really terrible explanation, by the way, for like 2 or 3 minute explanation. It's horrible. You need like an hour to do a lesson on this. But what I'm doing is I'm creating an IP4 packet, and I'm going to encapsulate it into a layer 2 frame. It's going to be, this is called a frame. The address will be, and the address for the IP version 4 will be in 192.168.0.3. Now, when I send that over here, it will take the IP packet out of this box, if you like, take it out of the box and deliver it to the PC. I know it's it's only like a minute explanation. We don't have time for that. But what happens when we have a router in between? And I've got a PC on this side, 192.168.1.5, 192.168.1.6, and this is 1.1. Actually, sorry, that's a 0. 0.1, and that's a 0. Whoopsie. And that's a 1.1. So that's the IP address there. Just add the 192.168 in front of it. So what happens, and this is really bad, okay. The frame gets sent there. Let's just pretend that's A.A.A.A. The router looks at it and it says, yeah, that's me, but it needs to be sent over to that IP address. I know that the frame, the MAC address is B.B.B.B is over here, okay? So I'm going to take the packet outside of this frame, and that's the destination is 1.5. I'm going to take this out, this frame. I wonder if I can do it. Yeah. And I'm going to move it. It didn't really work in the end, but I'm going to move it over here. And I'm going to encapsulate it in a new frame. Okay, so as you go to the router, the IP address, most of the time, not always, that's a trick, but that's a bit confusing. But in this demonstration, the IP4 address stays the same, but the MAC address changes. Okay. All right. That's not a really good explanation. In your learning content, you'll learn a bit more. Anyone doesn't understand this, please let me know. I'll think of another way, a better way of explaining it where I can spend some more time, because it's really important that you get this. It's really, really, if you want to understand networking, you need to know this. So it's really rushed, but it's helping you there. So which address changes? The MAC address will change. Which address stays the same? IP version 4 address. And I just tried to explain to you a little bit about the difference. So do some of your own research. Look on YouTube, look through, ask some questions, and then so Stephen, the MAC address A is the interface for the router, and B is the interface for the PC on the end. I know it wasn't a good explanation. So yeah, you got it. If you got it, man, you're a genius, because I was saying it and I didn't get it. All right, now I'm going to do a. See, this is where we need more time. All right. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to. How's everyone's math going? All right. I'm going to do this example, right? And well, this is going to take the 10 minutes that we got left. All right. So let's go and grab a task. Let's go get a hard one. We'll go grab a hard one. Yeah, that's this is a pretty hard one. Yeah, that's a nasty one. That's a horrible, difficult one. That's exactly what you're going to find in a Cisco exam, but I love them. Actually, you know what? This is even worse. This is even worse. Okay? Yeah, we got this. All right. And that's when you spin your hands when you get a shovel and you dig. You're going to get to work now. All right. So we'll do that. So as this is the Harry's methodology, I'm going to go and put my little map up here. 1, 2. So I just double. It's really easy. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Yeah, I always do this. 64, 128. Okay. Yeah, sure. No, I'm going to stay behind for those people just messaging me. I'm going to stay a little bit. I'm going to stay maybe in half an hour extra, so just stick around. Okay. No worries. So this is my way of doing it. There's a few different ways you can do this. There are different ways. This is my way. I like to do this. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. Over here, okay, I'm going to do the network mask first, okay, before I do the IP version, the IP address. This is a bit weird. I know that if I do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 here, I know that that's going to equal 255. I know that for sure, okay? So I've got a network mask of 255, 255. I don't need to do anything here. These are boring to me. These are wasting my time because I know the answer already. But this is interesting. This is the interesting octets. This is the Harry's way of doing things. I like to look at the interesting part. So I know already that's 1, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But this one, and by the way, that's a 0 over here. That's boring too. That's boring. And those two are boring. I don't need to know. But this 224, this is fascinating. This is interesting. All right, let's do this. So I'm just going to scrap those out. Who's good at maths? Who's good at subtraction and addition? You are? Oh, good, Emily. I'm going to help. You're going to help me here. So I need to convert 224 into binary, okay? How are we going to do this? So I'm going to put that value 224 and I'm going to minus, because this is bigger or equal to that one, okay? I am going to put a 1. That's my rule. I've got two rules. The top references here has to be greater. Sorry. This number that I've got here has to be bigger or equal to that. If it is, I put a 1. If that number is lower than that, then I have to put a 0. That's my rules. So Emily, what's 224 minus 128? You can use a calculator, you can cheat if you like, I do. No, we're not there yet, Mark, not there yet. We're not quite there yet. 96, is that correct? So that's a 1. 14, take away 8 is 14. Yeah, 6, that's right, yep. Then take away that one, 11, take away 2 is 9, 1 take away 9 is, okay, perfect. There we go. That's okay, no worries. So now I've got 96. This is going well. Is 96 greater than or equal to 64? Anyone want to have a shot at that? Is 96 it's less, is 96 less than 64? It's greater. So 96 is, yeah. So 96 is greater or equal to 64. So I put in a 1 here. And I'll bring that 64 down over here. 64. So 96 take away 64 is easy. Nice and easy, piece of cake. So is 32 greater than or equal to 32? Now, I'm just going to say yes. Yes, it is. Yep, it is. So take away 32 equals 0. So that's a 1. Now I've got a 0. So now, because I've got nothing left, these are all zeros. Okay? They're all zeros now. So now I know 1, 2, 3. 1's there. And then I've got 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. Perfect. We're getting somewhere here now. All right. Now the fun part begins. This is the fun part. I need to know which subnet 12, 34, 56, 78. I need to know what subnet these are in. Because I already know these are the mask, I'm good. I don't need to worry about that. I'm good with that. So I already know. Correct. That's exactly right, Stephen. So I already know that's 12.34. I just have to worry about this part, as Steve's got there. I just have to worry about this now. All right. Are you all ready for this? Who wants to see a magic trick? Who wants to see a magic trick? And yes, it is /27. Okay, that's the other way of describing subnet mask. I'm going to show you the magic number. Okay. This is the magic number here. That's the magic number. All right, which means that my iteration, I count my subnets in 32s. I'm now counting in 32s. All right? All right, let's start with this. The first subnet. Now remember, the numbers always start at 0. On this planet anyway. On other planets, they might have different numbers system, but on Earth, we start from 0. Thanks to the Indians and Arabs who worked together, and I think some Africans got together about a couple of thousand years ago, helped us with the number 0. Samuel, I'll explain that a little later on. I'll explain the reason for that. But we're counting in 32s now, so we'll do 12.34, and we're going to start at 0.0. Now, this is a tricky one, okay? I've chosen the hardest out of all of them. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. I should have done it an easy way. But trust me on this one, okay? Trust me when I say that this should be correct. I am going to find out what the next subnet is. Remember, I'm counting in 34s. The next one is going to be 12 dot, what's 34 plus 34? Anyone? Beautiful. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Anka. Oh, good. You got it done. Perfect. Now, we've got enough information there already to answer this question. We'll do one more. What's 68 plus 34? 64 plus, I think it's 102, is it? Yeah, beautiful. No, don't do it. It kicked me off the server because we finished anyway. 102, well, nice. All right. So, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. I've got plenty, I've got hundreds of them. So the question is this: which subnet? Okay. So the question is, what's broadcast address? This is a tough question. I'm sorry about this, but I'll answer it anyway. But what subnets are we on? First of all, well, we're on the 64.78, so 64. So we're somewhere here. We're in this range. Okay. So that is my subnet ID. I cannot use that IP address because that's like that's the title of the subnet. That's its name. So I can't use it. That's just the rules of the IP. I cannot use the last the very last IP address because that's the broadcast address. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 255, 255. That is the broadcast address. That's the answer here. This is a tricky question. What is the broadcast address that the subnet? That's something's wrong here. Something's not quite right. Have I made a mistake here? I think I may have. No, wait a sec. Hang on. You were adding 34, not 34 to 32. I'm silly, aren't I? I was counting by 34s, not 32s. See? I need a holiday, everyone. I need a holiday. I'm counting by 34s. I should be counting by 32s. Yeah, I didn't follow my own rule. And see what happened? Yeah, see what happened? So I should be counting over this side. So let's just quickly rub this out. No problems. This is good. We can just do this again. Oh, it's too late in the afternoon. Okay, let's do this again. All right. Yeah, that's good they spotted it. Correct. It should be here that we're counting because that one's already done. It should be here. We should be going like this. 32 and then 64. Well done. Good pickup, Stephen. That's a really good pickup. It shows that you're following, that you're paying attention. That's really good. So that's our the range that we're working with. And we're not in that range. So it should be in this range, 0.0, and that's going to be 63.255 because that's 63. That's the last IP address available before this one. Now, for those who are a bit inexperienced with IP addresses, that's really tough to follow, and I probably shouldn't have gone for the harder one first. Because we've run out of time today, how can we show you subnetting? Because it's an important topic. You're going to learn it a lot. Let me see if I can get you a YouTube. Yeah, I was going to suggest that, Van. I know of a YouTuber that really is really good at this and can start from the very beginning. And I'll show you, and we'll get him to or her, whoever I choose to do that demonstration. But that's how that's done. And see how easy it is to make a mistake? Really easy if you're not focused, if you're not switched on. I would have failed that part in the CCA exam. All right, so I think we've covered everything. Any questions or any issues? Oh, okay. Okay. By the way, guess what? Kathy's just told me that the answer to the question is right at the bottom. There we go. Who's it? Emily. It's right there at the bottom. There's the answers. There we go. It's right in front of us, right under our nose. So, yeah, I know, huh? We look for things. We look at things that are harder than they should be. But there we go. All right. So look, I'm really sorry to say that we've run out of time today. We only had an hour, but Kathy, do you want to grab the mic just for a few things, just for a couple of reminders? You don't mind?
Yeah, sure. Before we go, thanks, Harry, for giving us a very wonderful explanation about subnetting. I would just like to remind everybody that next week is week 4, and week 4 we have 2 assignments that needs to be done. First is assignment 1 is network administration test 1. Okay, so mark your calendar in November 25. That's on Monday. So it will start on Monday, 25th of November, and it will close on Sunday, December 1 at 11:59 p.m. So you have like a week to do this assignment 1. Assignment 2 for week 1 to 3 lab journals. So that is only 1 day, 5 p.m. on Monday, 25th of November. So that is going to be next week already. So keep that on mind. Make sure that you are well prepared for assignment 1 and you have your lab journals prepared as well. For assignment 1, it's like, hold on, let me just go to the course. So assignment 1 here, it's a 20 minutes exam. 11 questions in this test, 20 minutes to complete. Okay? You are permitted to use internet sources and learning materials. If you have your lab journal, that will be handy. That's why you have a lab journal. Okay, so those configuration that that's very confusing, you can put it down on your lab journal. Okay, that is another reason why we have those lab journals. It is allowed on some of the assignments, on some of the assessment, not all, but it's allowed on some of it. Okay, any question, just post in the slide.
Kathy, do you know if it's multiple choice question? I believe.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is. It
Awesome.
might be some of the question are multiple choice, some are, you have to give the answer, but I'm not sure about that. I haven't checked it completely, but it's just going to be 11 questions in 20 minutes.
Yes, it's multiple choice. Yep, I just checking it now. Yep. And guess what?
Okay, that's great.
Subnetting. Get subnetting. There's a couple of subnetting questions in there. Awesome. No, not that hard. Not that hard, Emily. Kathy, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for reminding me, because that's why we're here, right? We need to pass these assignments. Otherwise, it's nice to have a chat to each other, but we need to get these, we need to pass, right? So thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, just a reminder, because we're not going to meet again. So it's only one meeting. So yeah. Let's prepare for any
Yeah.
question. Harry is always very responsive to our Slack conversation. So any question, just pose it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kathy. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next Monday, 6:30. Thank you, everyone. That's it for tonight. I'm going to stick around for another 15, 20 minutes. You absolutely can, Krishna. Just for those who need to stick around, stay, and I'll help with the question. I just have a couple of people that have some questions, so just stick around and write your questions, and I'll answer them. All right, thanks, everyone. Anyone who needs to go, see you later. The recording is, I'm going to record the lab, and I might do some more subnetting stuff too. All right, thanks, guys. Take care. Thanks, Kathy.
Bye, Harry.
Bye-bye. By the way, for the people who are sticking around who need to ask the questions, you're welcome, Craig. Anytime. You're welcome. Did you want to discuss this so the other people can benefit, or is it a personal, private question? Because I can end the recording if it's something that's just personal. All right. Okay. I will. I'm gonna. Okay. So I'm going to end the recording now.